Welcome to our group project for Module 5, Adapt and Innovate. Our idea is implementing vertical planting at our workplace to help reduce environmental impact. We took on the BT brief on how we can encourage business customers to make changes in their organizations to reduce environmental impact and lead a more sustainable enterprise. Businesses use environmental resources to create value by delivering a product or service, hence they are able to impact the environment in a negative or positive way. One major concern is air pollution and the release of greenhouse gases as a result of the way many businesses operate, such as the delivery of material or commodities. Business generation of outdoor air pollution has had a considerable detrimental effect on health, mainly for breathing in pollutants and fine particle matter, which causes cardiovascular diseases. And the World Health Organization estimates 4.2 million premature deaths each year as a result of air pollution health issues.
In order to tackle the problem, our group proposed that BT can encourage businesses to plant more in-house trees. They can optimize the planting space by using the vertical growing system. And here are some illustration example of vertical growing system. This is the wall hanging plant pockets, plant tower, and plant wall. In terms of minimum viable product, on the one hand, advanced carbon offsetting technologies are invested by business gurus such as Elon Musk, big corporations like ExxonMobil or tech giants such as Microsoft. However, they are the one who have access to finance resources and partnering opportunity to form powerful alliance. On the other hand, for small and medium firm, before building capacity to pursue more ambitious carbon offsetting technology, they can make small contribution to reduce their carbon footprint. A cost-effective and viable method that they can apply is to grow more plants in their workplace. As we acknowledge that not all the organization have the special space to execute the idea, we recommend them to adopt vertical plant tower, plant pockets, and plant walls, which can help them optimize the space and also beneficial in terms of water efficiency. The key features of the solutions is that the vertical growing system is a vertical aeroponic growing system relies solely on water and nutrients to grow plants. The plants are grown in air or mist environment and on an soilless material called rock wool. So it is very ideal for indoor grower. The infrastructure comes with LED grow lights, building wheels, a water level monitor, and the reservoir, which helps stores the plant nutrients. The significant advantage of aeroponics is it can grow 30% more plants in 3 times faster and use 98% less water. This is a demonstration of a structure of a tower garden with different components. The benefit of a vertical growing system is that first of all is an economical carbon offsetting techniques. As we all know, plants would inhale carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen, which create a win-win solution for the community. Um, a mature tree can consume up to 22 lbs carbon dioxide per year and then release the oxygen that is enough for one person to breathe in 2 years. Into water efficiency during the process of photosynthesis, in which plants would take nutrients from the environment that is essential for its growth. The stomata of the plant will be open to dispel CO2 into the leaf, and then at the same time, water also evaporate outside the leaf. However, it is observed that in an environment that is enriched in CO2, the stomata will adjust itself to open less widely, so less water can escape. That means the more high concentrated the environment is in CO2, the more water is can save to supply the tree. In terms of energy saving, having more tree in the office place can actually provide more shade and lower the temperature in office by up to 8 to 10 Fahrenheit degree. Um, that means during the summertime, the planting system can add a natural air conditioning, which will help reduce the energy bill for the business. Furthermore, in wintertime, it can reduce the heat loss by 50%, as acting as the windshield, in-house windshields in the business. Last but not least, a greener office space will also create a more relaxed and less stressful environment for the worker, which can actually improve their overall mental health and boost productivity. Furthermore, it can have organization to increase their reputation as a business with green office and a potentially happier workforce. Given those benefits, we have the key metrics to measure. In 1 month, we would measure CO2 emission level. In 2 months, we would measure CO2 emission in addition to water and energy saving. In 6 months, we continue to measure CO2 emission, water, energy level, and as well as employees' productivity. In 1 year, we would measure the annual CO2 emission and all the cost saves in terms of water, energy level, and employability, employees' productivities. That would give a figures of how effective the program is in place.
Yeah, I'll be talking about the unique value proposition. The unique value proposition are: one, it positively influences climate change. That is, it creates biodiversity in the environment. It helps reduce noise reduction. And from an agricultural standpoint, vertical farming or gardening is viewed as a way to enhance crop output into the vertical dimension. That is, it helps the productivity per area units to on cultivated ground. That is a very good, it's good for food sovereignty and security. Also, as cities are becoming more crowded and dependent on apartment living, by 2050, almost 80% of the Earth's population will be living in urban areas, and fewer people have access to garden space. So one of the UVP for this is that it helps to develop innovative urban gardens, that is, including the rooftop farms, the balcony herbs garden, and jungle field walls in the inner city. And it also helps building the carbon footprint and removing carbon dioxide and impurities from the air, which improves the quality. Basically, the unique value proposition is more like a solution, and it sounds like a solution and also distinguishes them from the competitors and other companies. It makes them stand out amongst them. That is, it reduces the loss of habitat to benefit the ecosystem, and going green actually sets them apart from every other person. It helps to boost the output per square meter and noise pollution reduction, which every individual in the environment would like to have such companies around them.
So, talking about unfair advantage, so as these gardens would require a regular cleaning, PT can take this opportunity to check on their internet services, collect the plant remains, and also collect used cooking oil from its households, from the customers' households or their business offices. So, in this way, PT will be able to sell the plant waste and cooking oil to these companies like Shell. So, this opens up a new market for BT. So, although BT has a very good commitment of recycling and repairing its equipment through its circular economy scheme, there will definitely be some waste like wire cables and other parts, electric parts that can't be recycled. So these materials can be used to make the plant poles. As BT has already implemented conditions to its big suppliers to have a net zero target, this idea will not change any behavior of BT's suppliers or consumers.
Looking at the business customers perception for BT, we decided to have a psychographic segmentation. So this is focusing on their life goals, their values, their beliefs, and their personality traits. So we'll start with the life goals. BT's business customers, their life goals tend to be, of course, running a successful business. So that brings in who you want to work with, maintaining their good relationships with their customers. That's all based on the who they want to work with. Looking at their values, simplicity is key. They don't want something that's really complicated to work with, especially by running their own business. Having that good communication between both businesses just brings out the simplicity of it. Also, creating a positive change, especially working with other businesses, they will believe that creating that positive change, even if that's like new projects coming out or new ideas, that can bring out good customers. Looking at BT's values, based on their research, championing responsible technology is one of their key values. So they're always looking into research of how they can improve technology in the workplace and how they can bring their customers into this as well. For their beliefs, they do want to be educated, especially within the research business. They're always looking to see if there's any new ideas coming up. They also encourage new technology again to prove their services. If there's anything that can make it more efficient for themselves and their customers, they are open to new ideas. Lastly, personality traits. looking at the research based on the customers, they are all very tech-savvy consumers, if that makes sense. So they are genuinely interested in any new technology that can, again, be more efficient. And lastly, enjoying investing in goods and services. So if they see a product that they know that could be a good return on investment, they will be willing to hear more information. Next slide, please. So looking at the marketing channels, social media was the best channel for BT. Why? As you're all aware, that if you do have social media, messages can be shared so much faster rather than the original marketing. The internet is so fast for sending out new messages. So again, that can go to our next stage, which increases the awareness. You could have so many new potential customers just from sharing a post or liking, subscribing. It can really increase awareness of any new projects that are coming up. And lastly, it can be a new avenue for customer outreach, especially if you're willing to have a new project that came out that you know that will benefit all of your customers. It is so important to see any new potential customers that can be interested in new projects.
So when looking at cost structure for the Tower Garden, this can be broken down into two groups. Firstly, we have startup costs and then we have operating costs. Now, startup costs are the initial costs for the actual Tower Garden itself and everything it needs. So looking at the Tower Garden itself, each unit retails for £589. And then with that, it relies heavily on LED lights, each unit which costs £261. And then we have the labor that comes with this. So that the labor that comes with setting it up. So the average blue collar labor cost in the UK currently is £12 per hour. And now looking at operating costs. So these are the costs of maintaining and the general upkeep of having the Tower Gardens. So in terms of energy, this accounts to about 85 pence per month per tower. This is because LED lights are made so that they use a low wattage of power, so they don't consume too much energy and they are quite efficient. And looking at water, each tower uses approximately 1 gallon or 4.5 litres a day, which amounts to 45 pence per day if you're looking at about 1p per litre, which is the average cost of water in the UK. So this amounts to £13.50 a month for the water per tower. And then again, we're looking at labor cost. So labor cost actually makes up the majority of the capital investment that goes towards the upkeep of the Tower Gardens. So again, if you're looking at £12 per hour, that's about £360 a month in the labor to maintain the Tower Gardens. So then you're looking at a monthly maintenance cost of £374.35 per tower.
Moving on to the revenue stream, when implementing this solution for self-organization in the BT itself, the revenue will be zero. So some form of revenue can be generated from client side when they are reaching out to their customers or their partner organizations. They can reach out by using advertisements and the pamphlets or booklets, including all the statistics and improvements of the BT and the advantages. And then once a customer is interested, they'll reach out to BT, and the BT will act as a middleman between the plantation agency and the respective customer or the client. The standard brokerage cost is 5 to 7%. Currently, the fixed price will be like 6% of the total project cost, although it can be negotiated based on the scale. So the project cost is mainly generated based on the amount of square feet of the wall that needs to be developed and the number of units needed. So through this method, there can be some form of revenue generated, but it cannot completely cover the cost. But eventually, after some point of time, we'll get into that zero point where our cost and revenue will balance out.
So here are the sources we use for our presentation. Thank you for listening.